end game here. And what is it that we really would like to try to do with this property? Because we have the option of trying to sell it outright, or we have the option of trying to do a modification of the sale, meaning we sell most of it and we retain a part of it to try to establish a memorial to the memory of our ancestors who made it possible, and some of those who fought long and hard to try to keep it. And so that's a long time that this property has been in our family. It's one of the oldest unadministered pieces of ground in the county. And so we have had some interest of late into the property, and we have entertained, I'll call it, a letter of intent on the part of a potential buyer. This is not a contract, it doesn't tie us in, and it doesn't tie them in, and we didn't want to be tied in at this moment because we like to get the family feedback and to see what's on your mind and get your input. By the way, our 9 lines have line leaders, so we talk with the 9 line leaders fairly often, and we make sure that what we know, they know. But Artie Jones, who also happens to be city councilman, is here, and he's the head of the Hubbard line. And Ladava, okay, stand up, Ladava. See, all right. Now is also here as a line leader. We have 9, and they have various places that they had to be this morning, but they're on that phone, and we're going to make you aware of all of them. We'll mention their names again tonight by name, and we just want you to know who they are, because when you need immediate information, they should be the first ones you go to, and then our lines are open as well. You can talk to us. But in this letter of intent, there's a gentleman who wants to buy it. I'm going to ask Sean to give you the particulars, but one of them is, at least gives us an opportunity to think of doing something on the way of a memorial. And I was telling Cousin Sean some time ago that we had talked about a memorial for the family. We thought that would be a wonderful thing to have. And I seem to have recalled that somewhere back there, we talked about it around a table over on Hall Street. And Cousin William was there, Cousin Sonny Boy was there, Cousin Marcel was there. Cousin Marcel. Cousin Marcel was there. Cousin Bernard Green was there that night. Trying to think who else was there. Cousin David Myers, who's been, actually he's the founder of this Myers Union. He was there. And we talked about a park idea. I just remember the conversation, and I remember we did a drawing. I went on a search, Cousin Sean, and this is what I found. In 1997, that's 22 years ago, we sat around a table, and this was our layman's rendition of what we thought we might want. It has spur 40 going through it. It has, this is 119 acres that we were dealing with at the time. And we carved out 26 acres here. And we called it, at that time, Myers Heritage Park. Myers Heritage Park. And we're playing with a couple different names. But just to show you, and this is the Andrew Myers Estate, Wicked River, 1997. Okay, so, you know, it went dormant, and then Cousin Sean caught a vision and said, and I don't think you knew anything about this. You didn't know anything about this, but it showed you how God works. Okay? In 1997, we were honoring Cousin Bud Myers here in this room. Cousin Bud Myers, Miss Pearl Myers, my mother, Cousin Bernard Green, Cousin Gracie Green, Cousin Mamie Myers, Cousin Margaret Tim, Cousin Eureka Hamilton, Cousin Roy Logan, Cousin Horace Myers, Cousin Rudolph Capers, Cousin Rebecca Smith, Cousin Ardenia Mungin, Cousin Vivian Hubbard, Cousin Evelyn Galvin, and Cousin Alvin Myers Sr. All in this church, right here. Those are our memories and mementos. That's the backdrop on which we gave some thought about what it is we'd like to do in memory of those folks. You all take a picture of it before you leave, but that's the 97 version of it. I want Cousin Sean to talk about a little bit more about the letter of intent, the possibilities, and also the alternate possibilities in terms of family. And he's got some paperwork here that you might want to look at. So, Cousin Sean.
So I'll just pass this around to some of the tables. And the stairs, I'll just pick those up later in the middle. So that was fun. Because he held his truck car and didn't even tell me about this till now. So
I want to surprise you, brother.
That's pretty good. That's pretty good. So as Cousin Roy mentioned, it's been a journey, and at the end of the day, it's all about family, about what we do. So one of the things that I want to go back a little bit and explain the discovery that about the land. And this is why we've got some smart, intelligent people in our family. We need to make sure that we're utilizing that. I was doing a personal real estate closing about a year and a half ago. The attorney that was representing the other client presented me with some paperwork. He had worked with his team to draw up an easement of some drawings to get access to some property on the backside of our property. They have about 210 acres on the backside of our property. It's been many times we have often stated, wow, it seems like we should have more property than what we have. Mm-hmm. Well, we should have more property than what we have. Yeah. He actually gave me some paperwork from 1955. At 1955, John Allen, who was husband of Katie Myers Allen, she had passed. No children, the land passed to her husband. Whatever deal he made with the Russell family, Russell, Bennett Chevrolet, all of that, that's that family. He made a deal with them or whatever, and he was giving, and his cousin Hakeem indicated today, there was no official land given to him by our administrator at the time, John Hosendorf. In some kind of way, he carved out 19.8 acres and said it was his. Okay? This stuff happens in families. Okay? Stuff happens. Okay? It's just a fact and reality of life. So we talk about the history of that. So he's, however it came to be, gave his rights to Russell, 19.8 acres. They petitioned the owners around that piece of property to say, hey, look, we want to get it surveyed off. You consent that we got 19.8 acres. Mr. Hosendorf signed it saying, yep, 19.8 acres. Ran there, signed it, 19.8 acres. So he's supposed to have 19.8 acres. They surveyed out 198 acres. You hear me? 19.8 acres to 198 acres. And when I asked the lawyer about this, I said, because they was trying to get rights to the land. I said, no, the property was not obtained properly,
Right.
because you would have gotten an easement during that process.
Right.
So I said, no, we're not going to entertain that. You know, I initially, before I talked to Cousin Roy, because I knew what the right answer was, we're not entertaining that. Okay? I said, because the property was not obtained properly. And his response was, well, no one objected in 1955.
Wow.
So that is kind of where we are with that piece. Obviously, and again, Cousin Akeem, it sounds like he's got some experience with this type of stuff. So what we're going to need is a reclamation committee. We're going to have some people that's smart about, know how to go about, have experience, and go about what is the process for reclaiming that piece of property. Okay? So again, just wanted to give that backstory because again, up until, we've always said, wow, what happened to the property? What happened to it? Now we know what happened to it. About 170 acres of it was ill-gotten. Now, granted, about 110 of that acres is marsh. So again, it's marsh, but it still was ill-gotten property.
Right.
So that's a little backstory. So as Cousin Roy mentioned, we have someone interested in purchasing or acquiring the property. So one of the things that we did was like, okay, because again, I want to be clear, this is an offer that is on the table. We are currently in the process, and what we would like to do for the family, as Cousin Roy said, we want to petition the family. We've got to have an end state before I say that. I don't think, again, that's why we're here to talk about it, and there's a petition process that we've got to go through. You guys elected us as some was elected, but the probate court appointed us as administrators, and we want to do the proper and right due diligence by the family. We think at the end of the day that continuing to pay taxes annually with no gain towards the family is just, I know it's the heritage of what Andrew, but it's not doing anything. When we've struggled, the reason we had to have loans is because a lot of family didn't step up, and some of you may not even know. So I just want to throw that caveat out there too. Some of you might not even know, but not everyone has stepped up, so we had to go through the loan process. So we've got to have a way of giving people, paying these loans back. One of the ways is executing part, or the whole property for sale. We got an offer on the table. I want to be clear, that's just an offer. Nothing has been written in stone or accepted on behalf of Cousin Roy and I. While we say that, our desire is to petition the probate for sale of, it's 76 acres. We want to keep 5 acres, and that's what the diagram that you see there is a concept of what we would like to consider as a memorial park. In that, it has a banquet area that can seat 125 people, kitchen, a grill on the back side of it, basketball court on one side, playground out here. You got 6 benches along the side that people can just, be out having, good time. And also there's 3 16 by 16 cookout areas that each one of those areas will have a grill. So again, it's something to honor the memory of. And in addition to that, the thought would be, let's set up our own 501c3 such that we can manage this property. We can rent it out, much like what the rec is doing. We can rent it out, bring those proceeds back into it for maintenance. Again, if we sell the property, we might not have enough dollars to fully get there, but we can maybe do it in pieces as far as the construction of it. So that's kind of the end state of what we're wanting to do. We're here to kind of dialogue and talk about that. So there's an offer on the table, just to give you an idea. So the offer that we have on the table is $5,000 an acre for buildable land. and $1,500 an acre for land that is swamp land. The initial survey, we engaged a real estate agent. The initial survey shows about 43 acres buildable land, 33 acres would be swamp land. Okay, 43 buildable, 33 swamp land. When you run those numbers, that totals out to be somewhere close around $280,000. Okay, so while we have an offer on the table for that, and again, we're going to keep out the 5 acres to build that. We also have a responsibility to pay back those loans or those notes on the property as well. So that's what our hope and desire is, to be able to do that in terms of getting that set up. So to validate that that was a good price, of course, he started out with about $2,000 an acre offer. We did our due diligence, went and looked at about 30 properties in Camden County that had sold within the last year, all ranging from 15 acres upwards, 70 to 100 acres of land. Those acreage have been going for the most that any of them had sold for was about $4,000 an acre. So we countered at $5,000 an acre. Again, you gotta do the comps on that. So that's what we did. So that kind of brings us to where we are in this. You know, there's obviously, when we say we got an offer on the table, and one of the thoughts also, because I've had some family members touch me and say, you know what, if that's what the family is wanting to do, then we'll get some more family members together and we'll just buy the property, still pay out the family, let them build a memorial park, and that's on the table too. We're just using the offer that we have on the table to petition the probate court to at least do a sale such that we can build a memorial park. So that, unless I'm missing anything, Roy, I think that kind of captures the essence of what we've been having meetings with our family reps and just kind of dialogue and having that conversation and stuff. You know, so now with that, I don't know if you want to just open the floor, Cousin Roy, or you got something final that you want to say before you open the floor in regards to comments on that.
First of all, I think that's a very clear and comprehensive synopsis of what we've been doing, and literally we've been working for the last 4 years, day and night. We talk often because we have to, just to try to stay on top of this, because people down here, you know, they're operating as well. We try to stay in good graces. The alternatives, as Sean's outlined, is that we can sell it if we get, you know, a confirmed offer, and we can try to retain the part of it. And by the same token, if a family group should come together and put the money together at market value, okay, and then we're able to do the same kind of thing with the memorial park, then we have the funds to do that with. And the land is still retained in some form with some of the family. That's the thought. There was a time in this country when the only people who voted were people who owned land. You couldn't vote if you didn't own land. So we don't take owning land lightly. You know, that's a big deal. Okay. So when we think about this thing of whether to retain or not, try to retain, if that possibility exists, we should weigh those things equally. So I think this would be a good time, at least just to hear, other people are going through this too. This is not a unique problem in the sense of a family owning land, having large, I think you might not have mentioned, but I might have mentioned that we have like 400 heirs, 400 plus, closer to 500. Okay, and we have to do our level best to reach those 500.
So that's a perfect. I just want to say this. So when you look at that, 500 heirs, let's say the family agrees that the best end state is to have the memorial park. Some people might say, you know, I want my money. You're talking to, let's say by the time you pay out the people that the loans that's due, you're at $250,000. If you got 500 heirs, you do the math. That's $500 an heir. That's assuming everything being equal. Now again, if you walk up to me and you want to give me $500, I'm going to take it. But $500 in the grand scheme of things is not a whole lot of money. Our hope and desire that this would better serve the interests of the family than putting $500 in somebody's pocket. That's kind of like what I thought.
And we have a lot of expertise in the family. We actually have notaries in the family. And so it's possible that, you know, our price to do something like this could be a lot better than if we went out on the market and contracted for it to be done. So all along, you know, you get that involvement. But we have a long tradition, as we said, you know, 1800s, this thing has been in the family that long. And there have been people fighting all along the way. And there have been people bringing other people along so they could fight the fight along the way. We had a family over here, out of the Gaston Way family, and their property in the same area, and Hakeem was talking, we were talking a minute ago, and I said, well, how did you get involved in this? And he said, Colonel Gaston brought me along when I was a little boy, and we went out and we started talking about it, and I didn't realize it, but he was bringing me along in this, and the same thing happened. You know, I went out on that land the first time probably around the mid-50s. My dad, he showed me stuff, showed me the chimney that he used to live, and the house used to be here, and Uncle Ben, he was talking these names, you know, that are now very familiar to me, but it wasn't then. And he's telling me, you know, who owns land around here, you know, what you got to do to keep it, you need to pay attention, kind of thing. And so, well, here we are, and we're fighting a good fight. We've been doing it for a long time, but I have a feeling that we're going to be able to end this chapter responsibly and in a way that they might have hoped for. I think we had that opportunity, Coach Sean. And so, you know, with that, I think we ought to get just some comments, and because your comments mean a lot. Just to hear from you, you heard from us. And I don't want you to capitalize all the time, but we do want to hear from you.
And they got one point, and I saw it, and I'm gonna acknowledge these people by the hands I saw. The Narva Hamilton first, Marvin, and then Hakeem. Okay, so give me one quick second. Rosita. Okay, Rosita was first. One quick thing. So while we're having a dialogue here, understand there's a formal process. We can't do anything without petitioning the heirs, having a notary public sign off, and you as heirs give us right to do this. So Roy and I don't have we don't have the authority to go do anything without making sure we're touching all of our heirs. So again, that's why we're here having that dialogue. Okay, Lenara.
I wanted to address the heirs. You say it's about 500 heirs.
It was close to that.
Okay, remember, all 500 of those heirs may not get money, because just like Marcel, he's living.
Understand.
Right, so.
No, again, remember, an heir is that last person, that last remaining descendant. So his children are not heirs.
Right.
He is the heir.
He's
No,
the
when
heir,
we say
right.
500, you're talking about.
Living people.
Oh, okay.
Oh, we gotta use that.
Yeah.
That
So
tree
just
right there is a small fraction of what it really is.
Right, because my aunt had so many children, that those children are not gonna get $500, because there's so many of them, just so everybody understand that
Wow,
part.
so 500 become $5 a person.
Right, that 500 would be about, like
About
Gracie
10.
Stevens had 9 children, okay. Now, every time one of those children died, their children became the heirs, and everybody had big families. So that hers just went and it kept going. So by the time they're 4 living, so those 4 would get whatever share that they would got, but the rest of them, they're gonna divide it among those children. So, right, so everybody realize that, so that's the one thing I wanted to point out. The more children, every time one person asks, sometimes it's 5 to 10 people who takes that one person place.
So maybe that $500 just dwindled down to $50.
That's right, just so they will understand that.
That's
Yeah.
what we're talking about. And also, just the cost of communicating across a 500-line family is expensive.
Right.
Just because the court requires you to mail it in a certain kind of way. And that can be very, very expensive to do that.
And the other thing is, I'm a line representative, we really would appreciate when we're trying to get in touch with people, if you would contact us back and just don't say, well, I don't wanna have anything to do with it, it's a lot of this, whatever. Because when it comes to money, guess what? They say no now, the first thing they do, well, no, where's my money? So, when we contact you, we really, all of us, there are 9 of us, we really would appreciate if you would get back with us and follow up.
Somebody else?
I would just like to have the last say so about sales fund. I like to buy the property for what you talking about saying, selling the property. I like to have an opportunity to do that.
What is your name?
Marvin Marvin,
Marvin.
I like to purchase the property.
This is a great day for me. I've never met all of you all. I was born in Camden County. In 1943. My grandfather, Gaston Way. My great ancestor, George Washington. I'm on the George Washington line. I would never sell this property. I would never sell it. I want everybody to know it. And I will petition it to the United States Supreme Court to prevent it from being sold. I would buy the property. I would raise the money, whatever you all want to sell it for. But I would never put a signature to sell anything from being born in a slavery state of Georgia.
That's good.
And there's a lot of history to slavery. Our ancestors didn't have a place to stay. A lot of people know about mortgages and rent. My great-grandchildren gonna need a place to stay. I'm 76 years of age. If I die tomorrow, I wanna leave them something to stay. So I want everybody to know this is a declaration, a legal declaration, that I will contest any intent to sell any property, and I will sue any family member that interfere with my legal rights. I'm putting you all on notice. I'm very upset. I'm very upset that some of you all would like to sell this property, but I would die. My faith, Islamic faith, I was baptized in that church, St. John's Baptist. I was baptized. That church will be preserved and forever. I would not give up an inch. I'm finna build a subdivision with my own money on Levi Gaskin Way and Wesley Way. That's my adopted son there. That's my cousin there. We have our own money. I don't need no loans, and I will finance it. This is the first time that I knew about any family financial problems. This is my first time, because I would have donated if I'd have had the correct information. I'm just putting everybody, to let everybody know that. And I'm going to today make a declaration. I'm gonna send money to you every month toward taxes or whatever you want to do with it. I'm gonna make sure that y'all receive that by certified mail. And it's a lot of illegal activity have going on by the probate judge. And eventually he will be, his estate will be sued for the wrong that they have done and pursuant to the law of the state of Georgia and the Constitution. We have been railroaded. We have been taken advantage of. Kings Bay is a nuclear submarine base. It's a nuke base.
Yeah, nuclear science.
It's one of the most expensive real estate in the world. And everybody has their opinion. And everybody can do what they want to do. But you got a big fight with me. Thank you very much.
So, and I'm glad to know, and I'm glad that you chose to attend today. This gentleman is relative. Did you say grandson, Gaston?
Yeah, Millie Miles is my aunt.
Okay, so some of you will remember Cousin Millie. Cousin Millie Myers. Okay, so that's his aunt. And I just really learned, I was reading through some research on the way here that Cousin Millie and a gentleman by the name of, we call him Mr. Gaston. Gaston Wade. He was a medical man. He was a medical man in that natural herbal medicine. And so I knew him as a kid, really, because he'd come around to our house and selling liniment, castrol, all that stuff that will keep you healthy without necessarily spending a lot of money. And so that's the line that he comes from, Hakeem comes from. So Hakeem, you know, we feel very strongly and have. If we hadn't, this property wouldn't still be in the family. I think I said that it has been on the auction block at least 3 times, probably as many as 5 times.
It was sold.
And there are those of us who spend our own money to hire lawyers and spend our own money to come down here and face that probate court and get that off of the auction block. Okay, we've done that and we continue to do that. That's why we have something to fight over now. This is not a yesterday fight for us, and we don't intend for it to be a tomorrow fight. If there's something that's rightfully ours, we intend to have it.
What have you done seen?
Okay?
Yep.
Yeah.
Pull it down.
Can you hear me?
Pull it down to you, baby.
Okay, my name is Tina Myers, 41 years young. I'm the daughter of Harry Myers and Chauncey Benjamin, granddaughter of Ralph Willie Myers. I want to piggyback on what my brother was just saying as far as the land. Mr. Walker, we can't keep it because land is our wealth. And if you can look around at what's happening all over the United States in particular, gentrification is happening. So the places where we are now, we're being pushed out. So if we give up what it is that we have, then where do we go? So I would like to propose that we begin to have vision and that we can visualize together, because as the scripture says, where there's no vision, the people perish. There's some of us who are a little bit younger, we have vision for our people, for our family, and for the land that we have, because the land is our wealth. Our health is our wealth as well. I am currently living in Atlanta, Georgia. And I went to Atlanta so that I could connect with my cousin, Sean Myers, who is the son of Ducky Myers, the grandson of R.C. Myers, who's doing major work in this world. Not just in Atlanta, but in this world. And I'm texting him right now as we're speaking, because he's in Ethiopia. If he wasn't in Ethiopia, he would be here. But he's doing major work around agriculture. And I also as well do major work around agriculture. And so I would propose that we create a Myers Organic Farm. One, organic food is something that everyone is turning towards. We can easily pay for whatever it is that we need to pay for with our own expertise. We come from brilliance when it comes to this land work. And so we can do it. We have people in our family who are part of the USDA. Kashawn has so many connections. He's building in Ghana. If you're writing notes, write down Habesha, H as in Harry. institute. It's called the Kwaku Ando Sustainability Institute. Dr. Ando is an ethnobotanist. He's an ancestor now. But the institute is going to promote sustainability, herbal remedies, connecting to ancestral ways of building and all of these things. Him and I talk all the time. So the same things that's happening in Ghana, we absolutely can do here in St. Mary's on ancestral land. And then to find out that this land may be the same land that he was enslaved on, it seems that way, right? We can't sell this land because those $200,000 that we get, somebody else is gonna make millions off of it. Somebody else. And so there's too much brilliance in our family for us to let it go. We just have to visualize together. Yeah, we just have to visualize together. I can say more. I want to say more. So not only can we have a Myers Organic Farm, we can also open up an herbal apothecary. I love herbs and herbal remedies, right? I know how to go out there and identify things. I make salves and tinctures and all of these things. We can have a whole operation going, family. We do not have to sell the land at all.
I'll be, cousin, you say you put us on notice. I hear what you say.
Okay.
This is good stuff.
Yeah.
Half a minute. Don't even talk, half a minute right now.
What this, even though, see, I'm not in love with this, more so I'm in love with hearing this. Okay? So let's be clear about that part, because this can, one, this is still vision. That doesn't change. Whether it's us getting together and buy, I think this is a good thing to memorialize Andrew and Mary's lives. I still say that's a good thing. But what this has done is just caused some people to come alive. It's poked and it's prodded at some things, and this is our opportunity to dialogue this. A lot of the frustrations come from Cousin Roy and I, because we've been talking about this and struggling to get people to pay taxes. It can't be continual getting loans and this and that.
You don't have to worry about that no more.
I got you. So
You
like
don't
I said,
have to worry about that no more.
I got it.
Allah is great. Allah is great. You don't have to worry about that. I would pay the taxes. I would in.
This is good.
And I would die for that land.
This is good. This is
Because
good.
it's a lot of racism out
Yeah.
there.
So
They
understand.
don't want us to have no land.
Listen, understand something, people. This is not opposition, this is passion. That's passion and love for this family. So again, this is great dialogue. So I just want to kind of inject that in there. I know you was going somewhere with that thought, but this is great dialogue.
The taxes gonna be paid.
Let me say that there were people before us, and they didn't receive a dime out of this, and they were fighting to hold on to it. So they've already given their lives, Cousin Hakeem. There are people who have already.
I have challenged the police
They are
department.
fine with that.
But since I've been out here,
Yeah.
they have tried to kill me because I'm a Muslim and I'm ready for them. I got an illegal gun. I'm a combat veteran. They sent me, I'm just letting you know.
He was Vietnam.
Yeah, but I'm just letting you know.
I see it.
They know I'm ready for them.
I see it. He was Vietnam material.
Yeah. I was born in, they know
And
me.
he was over in Vietnam in '66 and
I was in my punch block.
and '68. 66 when you were over in Nam?
Yes.
Yeah, over in '66. And I was over in Nam in '69.
But I would die here
Okay,
to protect that property.
so we know how to fight that fight, and we also know how to do spiritual warfare.
But I know how to
And
have
we
it.
fight it on both levels, okay? We know how to do that, and we know what we're fighting for. We wouldn't be here. We wouldn't be here unless there were some people willing to fight for us. And so we fight for generations to come.
Yeah. Being your wife, Roy, I've watched you and Sean and the other line. I'm Stephanie, Roy's wife, and I've watched this family over the years struggle with these taxes. And I admire so much what the Myers family has done. You are unique in the country in terms of being able to hold on to this land so long. I guess my concern is it's upsetting to have to reach the point of crisis like this before we're able to meet you, brother. I mean, we would have loved to have known you. You were here years ago. And so how can we find a way to avoid a crisis like this? To reach out to people like you and the other sisters who have good ideas before it reaches, because you guys have been through so much.
So I'd like to respond to her. I have litigated. You go to the probate court, Hakeem Abdullah have litigated and stopped sales. Go to the probate court, look at the file, and you'll see me in the file. My address is in the file. My telephone number is filed. I try to contact him up in Washington. I get no response. That's the truth. Go to the court file. Go to the courthouse, and you'll see me, and you see what I offer. But nobody wants to accept it because maybe I'm a Muslim, but I'm a Christian too. I'm a Christian too. I was baptized out here.
So you didn't know, so you're saying you didn't know that the taxes had to be paid?
No. I'm saying the administrator has a duty to go to the file and look at the records, and you'll see everything.
But you didn't know that the taxes had to be paid. You just didn't know.
I try to offer.
I
Nobody wants to accept the money from me.
Really?
Okay, well, this is.
That's the truth today. You got the truth today.
So
I'm letting everybody know. I made offer
money.
money.
One thing I'm saying to you is that, and I'm, if you're talking truth to me, and I'm saying truth to you, is I'm not aware of that.
It's in the court.
I got it. I'm unaware of it.
Your lawyer
But
didn't
I'm-
tell you.
But I'm aware of it now. Okay, and now so we're going to see if we can work together because we've got 100 and some acres out there.
We gonna work together.
Being claimed by somebody else.
Yes.
And we think we have proof that suggests it is ours.
Yeah, but
We
we-
have physical proof.
But we got a court system.
And now we have a court system.
We got a
and
probate
now
court.
you telling me you're willing to fight for it.
I've been fighting for it.
Oh, no, I mean this right here.
I'm
You're
making
willing to
it
fight
every
for
day.
it.
I
And we're going to
live.
embrace that, Cousin Sean.
Yeah, I live in Bud House. That's my grandfather Gaskin house. St. John's Baptist Church is my grandfather Gaskin church. They came and cut the lights off on me. The Christians did that. They cut the lights off on me.
And water.
And water. My family did it. That's the truth you know today. That's exactly. You have Reverend Robertson. I got a federal $25 million lawsuit against him now, pending in the Southern District Court. I can give you the case number. I'm suing this deputy of the Sheriff Department of Camden County for $25 million today. You know that today. And that's the
Very
truth.
good.
And if they continue to mess with me, I will be the owner of Camden County.
Be there when we reach out to you. Okay, be there when we reach out to you. We're going to do it.
Can I say real quick that, okay, so the issue with the taxes in the past, maybe we didn't all know about it.
You have to go to the mic.
I got you.
Whoever needs to go.
Okay, so I'm just saying as far as the taxes are concerned, we didn't know about it in the past as far as to be able to put money towards it. But let us from this day forward, every day is a new day, right? From this day forward, let us consciously and collectively come together to save it so that we can't say, well, in the past, where were you? We're here now.
Right.
We're ready now.
Right.
It's a new day now.
Right.
Right? So how can we be
We have an address and an email list that if you're not on it, you should be on it. And Lindley, what you're doing right there on one of those sheets, an address and email so we can update it, which means that we can be in contact. And, okay?
So here's what again, one of the things I've come to realize is that everybody's time is precious, all you guys' time is precious.
Use that
And
mic.
I don't have enough time, so here's what we need. We need a communication team.
Yeah.
It does not need to be Roy and I. We need someone responsible for communication. So, do we have a volunteer here today, communication? Cousin Rosita, anybody else want to assist? Tina. Okay? Because then when it comes to, most people have cell phones, we can communicate via cell phones, communicate via text, email, all of this stuff. We need to use those mediums that we have so that we can touch the people so that people know know what's going on. A lot of our family members are not going to be using the cell phone. You're gonna have to send hard copies to them. But the thing of it is, we need a communication team. So thank you, ladies, for stepping up to the
And
game.
everybody got my support in the family. Everybody. If you need something from me, my telephone number, I'm at St. John's Baptist Church. Everybody. What I can give you, you have it. That's right, because God owns everything. God the owner of the bank, money, and everything. What I can do for you, you want your yard raked, I'll rake the yard.
So what we want,
That's the support.
we need support, we need people who are going to be team members, we need collaboration. This is family. We don't need confrontation, we need collaboration. Okay? Because our lines are open too. We tell you that, our lines are open too. And so we are trying to move more, a little more onto that internet so we can reach out to people very quickly. But be responsive when we do. Okay? Because we're not just reaching the dark, we're trying to get your field, we're trying to give you some information, we're trying to save you some money. We've done an awful lot of legwork on this, and at least on our watch, it's not always going to be this way, but on our watch, we've done a lot of stuff in the court that you may take a lawyer to do, quite frankly. But that means we save the family money. We save the family money. We're going to continue to do that as much as we can. And leave it right back. Rosina?
Yes. Now, one thing I want to thank
Can you come to the mic?
Huh?
Can you come to the mic so everybody can hear
Thank you. I thought I had a big mouth.
you? Use that big mouth on the mic. Yeah.
All right, hi, my name is Rosita Hubbard. I want to thank the current administration for what y'all are doing. I'm gonna have to take a picture of this 97 shirt because I'm the only one besides Artie that I know from Susie Myers' generation here.
Wow.
We got the information last notice and I told Sean, look here, fear no more because we need to have this information out December the year before our next reunion so everybody can put in their vacation time. My grandma and my aunt names are on this shirt. And this is my very first Myers reunion. Right. So now I first heard about the taxes was at the Hubbard's reunion because Susie Myers Hubbard was my great grandma. So I kind of got a lot of the other family members who weren't actively going to the Hubbard reunion and start coming from West Palm and, you know, the surrounding areas. And we heard about it. Now people asking me like, I don't know nothing about no taxes. I ain't never been to a Myers reunion. So I was trying to find out when is the next Myers reunion and found out and here I am. So nobody could really make it here, but I said I'm gonna take notes and send it. You know, West Palm Beach, like, well, why come we can't build no condos or something on it? I said, you know, it's still open. You know, my thing is, I don't think anybody in a family wants to sell a property. Everybody wants everybody to step up, and now more and more people are aware that, hey, we have this tax issue and we want to keep the property. How can we come together as a family to make this happen? My thing is, look, hey, we don't even have to sell a property. The little chart that we have, the layout shows 125 seating. Well, if we have over 500 heirs, we need to do bigger than that. I think I was talking to Sean, if we get 35,000 from selling the trees. I haven't done all my research, I've been doing a lot of traveling, and I just based on 60 acres. If we sell the topsoil going for like 12, my thing is, look, we can start a family business, a reentry program for felons. Have them do the work, but use the 35,000 for selling the trees to buy our own equipment. So we don't have to go to these other white-owned land pits that don't want to buy our dirt because they got their own pit. You know, we can be competitive with them. So we're looking at, we're doing half felons or, you know, a reentry program. That's a tax break from the state of Georgia. Then we're looking, okay, they're doing the work, we bag it, you know, maybe $12, 60 acres. That's leaving us with 16 acres still. That's $3 million just for the topsoil. And then we can go and look and build a bigger state-of-the-art facility. You know, but if we sell the trees, use that money to get our own equipment so we're self-sufficient. So, and that's what my thing is, you know, and like I say, I'm gonna take everything, share it with everybody, because we have a very big family and a lot of support. But like you say, the communication, and my thing is, I know how to get my point across, and I make sure my I's are dotted and my T's are crossed. You know, it's like, so it's not, you know, no misunderstanding, can't nobody say they didn't know or they didn't get. You know, if you didn't get, it's because you changed your phone number or email address and ain't tell nobody. So, but that's one of the things, we just need to make sure that the family know who's on your line, that you have a direct contact to. If you don't feel comfortable talking about, you gotta find somebody in your family you feel comfortable talking to. So, and that was another purpose for this family reunion, so we can start to get to know each other and build a better relationship.
Excellent. I'm coming to you, Lenard, next.
Okay.
So just one statement. So one of the things, because of Roy mentioned, so this is great dialogue. So for those that want to contribute and donate toward taxes, we are taking those. Those that want to make a loan, because we are right now on $3,700 that's due now. So if anyone wants to contribute, either way, via a donation or towards a loan, please see Roy or myself or Donald after the meeting, okay? And Lenard will next after.
Those were the notes that we talked about. We call them family notes. And so we get them notarized and we make sure that you have an heir attached to them, you know, in case something should happen and you need to know that second of kin so that note can be paid, not to you, to somebody you designate. So we're trying to do everything we do above board, and it's work to raise some money for us in terms of this note business. And we're at a point, as I said, we're sort of at an inflection point now where we can go in some directions. And that's why we want to do this time, so we can have this, get feedback, get the sense of the family, whether or not, you know, we have come in on these things and people pretty much says, you know what, I'm tired of it, we've been talking about it for a long time, let's just sell the whole thing. We've had that too, but I'm sensing and feeling a different attitude here, that we want to retain our heritage. We want to make sure it's profitable, where that makes sense. But, you know, the whole thing is the right to self-determination. We want to determine that. We don't want some court telling us, you've got to sell it. And you've got to sell it to this person or that one. We want to have that right to do that. That's what ownership means. Okay? So as long as we can express ownership in this property, that's our voice. A lot of people listen to us in this county because of our numbers, and we vote. And this has maybe very little to do with this conversation, but voting in this time period is important for it. Don't take this right for granted. If you're not registered, get registered and vote. And vote. It could very well mean our future if that dire. Okay. Enough on that. Lenard.
Am I the only line representative here? Board, are you one?
I am a fool.
Who's the alternate? Boyd, and
Isaac? Okay.
Bernardi was here.
Right, who was here? All right.
Cricket.
All right, Cricket. How many of you know who your line representative is? A line representative, we have 9 lines. Andrew and Aaron has the 9 people. So we have set it up to where there is one person representing every line. they have a list of everyone, so you're under somebody, who's your great grandparent? Scipio, okay, so glad it's representing Scipio.
It was my brother and Crystal. I don't know who did.
Yeah, that's the young lady at Jackson, Sean.
Okay,
Yeah,
so,
young lady at
and the
Jackson.
reason why I'm saying this is because I'm a line representative, and I would tell you, I have, our children in here, close your ears. I have caught hell trying to get money for taxes from the line, and I'm very transparent. I've held conference calls, I've had meetings, no one showed up unless, I've had 2 or 3 people show up. I've had people who say, oh, I'm so tired of hearing about this land, count me out. And then one of my cousins said, all right, you knew about it, so when it comes time to sell or you get any money for anything, do not come and say you want money. So I just want you all to know that you have to work with your line representative. We have steps in place, which is fantastic, because we talk to Roy and Sean, and we get the information out. I'm not sure, are you at the George Washington?
Yeah, I sent him a letter a year ago.
No, but who the line, Sandra is
Yeah,
your line.
but I'm just saying, I contacted him a
I
year
know,
ago.
I know. I was just
And-
asking,
yeah.
I was asking,
But-
you didn't know who your line.
Yeah, I know everything about it, yeah, but I'm just
Okay.
saying, I contact,
Sandra.
from today on, you'll be getting money from me
Okay,
every month.
that's fine, I didn't want to get you started yet, but
Now,
I just want to tell you, you're a line representative.
Yeah, you'll be getting money every month by
That's fine.
cashier check.
But,
Yeah.
We're going to make sure that the lines are established between Sandra Green,
and you,
okay, and
right,
you.
Yeah.
that's,
And so we, no, I'm just saying, we have to have a process.
Sandra
Just
Green.
to
Yeah,
facilitate
whoever they are,
the-
whoever want the money, they got to pay. The main objective is to pay the tax.
It's going in
So the
there.
money's coming to you. You get the money ticket, you're gonna get the money now, and you're gonna pay the taxes.
all right, just like I said, I didn't get you started, but I want everybody.
You're gonna get the money, and you're gonna pay the taxes. And we're gonna have the property, we're gonna have that solved. We here to solve the taxes today. We here to solve the debt. We here for one objective, is to solve the debt. We got a debt of taxes, and we gonna pay the taxes, and we all landowners.
Amen.
And y'all can do what you want with your property. You can put a condo there. You can make money for the next generation. That's all it is. There's no big talk.
We got it,
You know, I've been litigating in the court for 50 years.
we
You
got
know,
it.
man, I know about, I have became a self-made millionaire. Whether you know, that's what I'm telling you now. I'm a self-made millionaire because I litigate. So we're gonna pay the taxes, we're gonna pay whatever it is, and then I'm gonna have a security. We're gonna secure that property too. They go out there and do deer hunting, they kill deer out there on the property, they don't talk about that. They do all that, they take timber off the property, they don't talk about that.
We're
We're
gonna
gonna
have
stop that
some.
today.
You know, one of the things we said, Cousin Sean, when we got into this operation, because we realized it was a problem. You know, when you get into something, you start to realize you have problems. And so the transparency thing was important, okay? And we didn't get that many reports and things like that. So we said, well, that's what we want to do. That's why we established this line
Right.
system. We established a line system, so we'd have somebody in each line, okay? And if you wanted to ask them a question, unless something's wrong with your telephone, they would answer. Okay, so that's what we have. And you have to utilize those things, and we do want people to utilize that system. Don't overload one point in the system.
That was the
We
point I
have,
was
we
gonna
have a
make.
distributive system,
Yeah.
but that's for a reason. That's to make sure that line rep understands what the issue is, and that they let us know, and then we talk about that kind of thing. We try to come to a solution, and then we might reach back out. We probably will, but we're gonna establish lines of contact, and that's what we're
Let
talking
me
about.
do a rebuttal to you. I'm going to pay the taxes. You talking about lying.
Well,
The
here's the
taxes
deal.
got to be paid.
Here's the deal.
We gonna pay the taxes.
All right.
And you talking about lying, well, if you don't pay the taxes, I'm gonna pay the taxes.
So, that, and that's a good point that that he's making here is this. Everybody who claims an heir to be an heir has a responsibility to pay the taxes. Everybody, okay? Now, some of you are not yet heirs because you still have parents and they are the heirs, they're the primary. If they pass, then you become an heir, all right? So you have a responsibility, and wonderful if Brother Hakeem wants to step up, but it's your responsibility. You know, you got a house, you gotta pay the taxes, right? All right, we all know that. Okay, so what we're trying to do is talk about responsibility too. And that we each bear that burden, and that makes it easier and lighter on
Can
everyone.
I make a statement?
No, I'm not finished.
I just wanna let the family know, if the taxes is not paid, I'm gonna pay the taxes.
Okay.
And you don't owe me a dime.
Gotcha.
I'm paying it on behalf of everybody.
Gotcha.
Okay, so
Because
let me
the tax-
see anybody
that's
in
how
the
sacred
family
the property is.
who did not hear and understand what he just said.
Yeah, anybody can pay the taxes.
Let me hear, anybody, raise your hand if you didn't hear and understand what he just said. Okay, everybody understood.
Right.
All right, we back up.
The other thing,
Thank you.
I want to suggest is that everybody knows there's property. Do you know where it is?
No.
Yes.
Okay, now that's the one thing I suggested is that somehow we set up where we can let family members who want to see the property to actually tour it or something. Now we can, yeah, because once you see something, then you know there's property, because right now you have no idea. I did, but Boyd and I went out there in the woods, in the marsh, as far as we can go. But it makes a difference if you know what you're talking about. So that's, and see, that's what lines do. You come up with something that's gonna help all the heirs that's up under you.
So if you in Jim Myers' line and you wanna see the property,
Another thing,
or if you want Ben Myers' line, Boyd's talking.
another thing, it's right across, no one have mentioned that, right across from $1 billion nuclear submarine base. And I would, ask everybody to get, Thursday paper, the Camden Tribune paper.
We can't hear you. You gotta go to
I
the
would,
mic.
well, I'll talk about that. I would, ask everybody to get a copy of the Camden Tribune paper that just came out this Thursday. Everybody hear me now?
I guess I'm finished.
I just got a big
What I'm saying, a lot of people don't know, that it's right across the highway from, $1 billion nuclear submarine base. Right. I'm saying just to, say that, right. And when you read the paper, you're gonna see where the government is about to spend millions of dollars. That's one thing, it's valuable land. Yeah, right. It's valuable land. The government, right now, this is a reality, you can verify it in the paper. Yes. It's about to spend $200 million on just infrastructure for the new submarine, new class of submarines. The submarines they got now, which Lockheed maintains, Sean works for Lockheed, and Lockheed is also, this is in the paper, there's 2 articles I want you to read in the paper. New spaceport, that is already home ported at the old airport here in St. Mary's. Lockheed is tying with ABL, space company, small space company, and Camden County is about to get a spaceport. I'm just wrong to say that the land is valuable because of the submarine base. They're gonna spend all of that money within the next 4 years with this new class of Columbia submarine. They got the Ohio class submarine, which is gonna be within the next few years. This you'll see in the papers too. And the new class of submarine is gonna take us up to the next 40 years. And that is, I was in the military for 24 years, served in Vietnam. And those submarines gonna take us up, the government, the Department of Defense and the government is gonna be spending all this money. And it's gonna take us, like I said, for the next 40 years, this new class of submarine It's no sense in us giving that land away when it's gonna be a lot of between Lockheed, if everything worked right with Lockheed and with what the government is putting in this new class of submarine, it's gonna be a lot of support companies probably would be interested in this land. And like I said, just get the Camden Tribune, the local papers, and you see all this, and this is factual information. And the main thing I'm saying is, we are right across the highway from that base. Well, my father owned 38 acres that was condemned, that the government condemned. My father was owned right on that land. That is the base, not the land, the government condemned, and I don't know what other people do. And I was a part of it because I was a line representative at the time, representing the Ben Myers line. My aunt, she knows about it. The Ben Myers line, and we took them to federal court. People don't know that. And we won against the federal government and the Navy to get the money. Speaking of money that we can get, we had to take them to court. We had to go out of Hampton County to get the lawyers. We got young lawyers out of Atlanta, black lawyers. And we won because I was supposed to be in the federal court the day before the federal government and the Navy gave in. They gave us what we wanted for that 38 acres. So it's valuable land. Don't let nobody tell you it's not valuable land. And to say sell it, one thing, my experience working with the fire, we don't have to sell it for what they offer. We can sell it for what we want. And if they don't want to give us, we don't have to sell. And if they want it bad enough, they'll pay. Keep that in mind. Keep that in mind. Thank you.
Great, I think you had a comment there, and I can testify to that 38 acres. It was claimed by the Navy, and they eminent domain. So we went through 2 rounds of negotiation with that. I flew out from Washington, we wrote letters to them in that same process, and they gave us a much better price than they initially offered. So we were satisfied because they did have a power eminent domain. You can push them if you have to, but a private sale is not, that's not involved. Under the government exercising their power. It's just private entity, so they can take or leave it in terms of the deal that might be on the table. I think Nate had a comment or question. Okay.
Come on, Nick.
Hello. I'm Nate James. I'm from the Charlie Myers line, and from up north, Washington, Bowie, Maryland. This is exciting to be a part of, to see all of this and to hear some things. I heard some things today that I had not heard before, and I have a lot on my mind trying to summarize some things. I think 2 scriptures come to mind. The wealth of the wicked is laid up for the righteous. There's some really, really good folk in our Myers lines that have stood the line, done the right thing for generations, and people don't even know, but people know that there's some good people, some good stock here. So God doesn't do anything by accident. That's one thing. The other thing I want to just know, I'm about to retire. I have 40 years in the federal government. I started when I was 17 years old, and they counted my time up to that point. So I'm getting close to my retirement age. Didn't know why the Lord put me on that path, but something was coming together today from a couple of things that my sister said over here. I work for the federal government, I work for NASA. In the last 10 years, I've been working with the Earth Sciences Division of NASA. And I manage 3 active archive centers across the country. Average of $30 million each for hiring and employing 40 to 50 people at each of those centers. So I have to manage those contracts. What they do is that they're responsible for Earth observing systems and Earth observing satellites. And so I have probably 10 of those that I manage. And guess what they do? The federal government, we've designed systems so that anybody, general public, can look and take the data from any of those satellites and understand how our planet works and what's going on in any region on the planet. And the other government agencies come to us, like Department of Defense, Department of Transportation, when they want to build and they want to see the quality of the land, they want to see where the water is, where the marshes are, what the atmosphere is like, where the flooding happens. When we talk about global warming and sea level rise, all that data comes from us. So we know what's going on in Florida, and we know what's going on in Georgia. I don't personally know, those folk, they know what they're doing. We make sure they do the job right. But this takes it to another level for me, because all of those systems are designed for our use. It's public. You may not know how to use those systems, but if you got a reason and a motivation, which we have now, meaning if you got an area that you want to know what's going on in that area, what can we do with it agriculturally, then the systems are designed to give you intricate detail about any area on the planet. And all over the world are using our systems, but to be able to be a part of something where our family can decide what we want to do and what's happening, not just legally, but agriculturally, atmospherically, chemistry of the area. And trust me, the Naval, they've already done that research. They know what our property can be worth and what to do to make it worth more than what it is. But they have access to the same, we have access to the same information that they do. And if we have expertise, people who have skills who know how to turn that land into something that we benefit from, there's nothing that we cannot do with our own land with that kind of information. So this isn't accidental, it's just a matter of working together. This has been the problem. We have not been united as a people to pool the resources that we've been trained to use for other people. So I think we're in a position where we're starting to open our eyes and realize we are doing work and getting paid decent money to make billions for other people to make. When if we understood how our tech expertise can work together to support our own and raise our own money and capitalize from that to the benefit and still, for the good of our community, and not just our families, our communities and our planet. Because we're messing up this planet. People are not listening to us. So we will have a land problem very soon. So we have a responsible party that said we're going to take care of our land, and we will have food, we will have a place to live, and we will have. That's what it's about. But it starts with us learning how to get along with each other. If we can't work together on a family level, we can hang it up. We can hang it up. So we've been apart too long, and I observe. I'm not a scientist. I'm a computer scientist, data systems engineer, but I study people and families, and there are dynamics here that have been problematic probably for 20, 30, 40 years, which I think is coming to a head in this generation. And this generation is a keep it real generation. It's like we don't have time for mess. We have to deal with the real problems, and we got to work it together, and we got to learn how to get over our differences so we can be the great people that God created us to be as families. So I'm putting that out there, but there's a lot of potential to do some awesome things, so I hope it works, yes.
I came out here in 1979 from Chicago.
Oh, boy.
I had a tractor. I had all my equipment. I came out here with I got money from Muhammad Ali in Chicago. I came out here in 79 to develop my Westaway and Gasaway estate. They locked me up in jail. My family didn't come to my help. I'm just responding to this brother. I came out here and I had money. My nephew right there can tell you the truth. I came and I stayed in the woods. The sheriff of Camden County today, he came out there on a horse. I took a 30-30 and told him to get off the property because he was trespassing. Jim Proctor, he's the sheriff of Camden County. That's exactly. They locked me up and put me in jail, but they wouldn't prosecute me because I was ready to represent myself. It's a conspiracy to take the land. We don't have a problem with each other. It's a conspiracy to make us and put us back into slavery. See, we don't have no problem. I don't have no problem with no family member. I'm out here now in 31 Mush Bluff. My relatives cut the water off on me of my grandfather's church. He's a pastor. His name is Robertson of St. John's Baptist Church. And I had a relative of L.D. Williams' son. They cut the water off on me. You understand? I want you to know that today. That's the truth. And I have a problem with that. I have a problem with that. They cut the water off my land. My family doing that. Yes, I'm mad. Family did that to me. I want you all to know that today. I want Roy to know that today. This is what my family did to me. Blood family. So you know that today. I'm right there on 31 Mush Bluff with Bud. Everybody know Bud. That property was, my aunt allowed Bud to put that house. That house used to be over there on the base. Everybody know that. In St. Mary's. He used to put the house on my grandfather's property. Go to the court and you'll see my litigation. I'm litigating. We don't have no confrontation. But we have family members also working underground with some of the Caucasians or with some of the big players. And I'm exposing them, and how I'm exposing them through litigation. And they have to come into court with subpoenas. But there's no problem with the family. We all came a long way.
Yeah.
We didn't have money. I walked barefooted all over Camden County as a kid. But I was poorer than you. I got Stacey Adams shoes. I was poorer than you. I walked all over Camden County as a kid with my grandfather out here. I think I know more about that property than anybody. I used to fish out the Crooked River. Anybody know that? All of the old ones know that. I pulpwood. King Myers got killed with a load of pulpwood. I was a little boy. I know a lot about this. You don't know about this.
Right.
From California.
Thank you. The now ancestors, and he and I are in the same age bracket. So while I may not have had to endure the hardship that my father did, because he made it possible that I could do a little better. So when I asked him, I said, well, what do you all do? What did you all do for heat out there where you live? You had a little house. What do you do to heat? And he said, and where did you sleep? I mean, I was asking questions. Okay. So he said, we slept on the floor and we covered with the dough. Think about that. He was serious. He was serious. So I know people pay a price for our ability to even think about what we might do or want to do to retain some land. The only reason we have some land to retain is the prices they would pay. Let's just keep that in mind. You wanted to say something?
morning.
Good morning.
I'm Gwendolyn Powell, and I am great-granddaughter of Scipio granddaughter Myers. How many of you are on that line? Okay, I don't know our line, but I am moving back to the United States, or to stateside, we should say. For the last 28 years, I've been living in the Virgin Islands. And now, because I'm of age and my daughters don't want me over here by myself, I have to come back to the state. And I want to become more involved. Our line representative is not here. My brother was one of the line representatives. And I yielded to him because he's the elder of the three of us, of my mother's children. But I'm going to take it from him because I want to become line if you will appoint me. I think that what was just said about this generation of the expertise that we have within our family, we should have a committee of some of those people who are interested in being involved to utilize that expertise and work together and not put everything on the administrators who happen to be also the president and vice president of the family reunion. They're doing everything. They don't have all of that expertise as much as they do have a lot of expertise. They are at the head, so we should have some committees, special committees, and I'd like to serve on if that is done, and have James be the chair since he has all of that information, and the young lady with the head wrap. I don't hear well, I'm hard of hearing, I have hearing aids, but the shades get feedback, so I don't always hear. That's why I've been asking you to use the microphone. But I want to include everybody know who you are, so you know who I am. And let's do this right.
I think I saw one hand back here, my sister-in-law, Ron.
I'm Rosalind Myers, Donald Myers, who's over there counting money. We're sitting over there talking about what we're hearing today, and Gwen actually said what I was going to talk about. With what we're hearing today, you all have done an outstanding job. You've really taken on the burden of doing all the research, and what we're hearing today now, I think, is that there can be some diversity, that we can possibly have some committees, and I'm thinking particularly of business committee, because there is a lot of expertise that's here. Those who know how to look at the business opportunities for the land, those who know how to develop, work with developers, because we know a lot about this, maybe because maybe we bought a home or something, but when it comes to doing the research to find developers to develop property, that's another ballgame, and it takes special expertise to know how to do that. And I think that we have that expertise in the room. We have it in the Myers line. For me personally, I would volunteer on the communications because that's kind of my line, so I can help get the word out, I can help build communication portals and be a part of that committee. But I think by getting the word out to all of the members, look at the different skill sets that are needed to develop the property, ask for those skill sets, then bring those folks together so that we can really, really start to be creative. Because I agree, it would be awesome, it would be incredibly sad to sell the property. We know why that's proposed, because of the struggle that they've gone through in trying to pay the taxes and not wanting to use the property. And I think that is absolutely incredible that so many have stepped up to the plate today to say, we're willing to help, we're willing to do something about it. We don't want this to happen. And so that's a good thing. Sean walked by and it's like, oh my goodness, this is such good news. Because no one's wanting to do that, but what do you do? And so I think now is the opportunity to really, really look at developing the property and then generating the income so that there is an opportunity to grow and not only have that memorial park, but it would be an entire acreage, many, many acres that really speaks to the Myers family and the ability within the Myers family, but more than anything else, it's a statement to say, we're willing to work together. And I think that's a big deal.
And I tell you, again, because I'm just glad I called you. push us forward with this property. Sale. That caused people to say, man, I don't want this information about this. That's great. Like I said, I'm not in love with selling property. I do believe that we should have something to memorialize and at some point. And again, we got a huge family. I was just looking at it. How we raise the money again, I think Brother Roy gonna talk about setting up committees and stuff like that. We got, just say 500 heirs. If just 500 heirs did $25 a year, that's $12,500. What can we do with that per year? Wow. You're talking about, even if you mortgaged and built it, say you borrowed the money, you can pay that back like that. So again, the opportunity is there. Again, that one word, save, caused this conversation to happen. So I'm excited. Like I said, I wasn't excited about selling the property. I'm excited about this dialogue. So again, thank you all for attending. Roy, not to conclude it, Roy's going to close with some comments and kind of what we think about our path forward, just based on what we hear today. But again, thank you all for your participation and thoughts. Thank you.
And so just in point of concluding this part of it, I want to say this. This is why we do these kind of family meetings. Because we're trying to get this kind of input. We're trying to get this sense, and most importantly, we're trying to get your commitment. Okay? And so I think that we're at a good place. I told you I thought we were at an inflection point. And I honestly believe that the biggest part of the work with regard to the taxes, we were not in jeopardy of losing not the last 6 months, 8 months, or losing the land for taxes, because we got it down to a point where we just were not going to let that happen. But there was a point where it was weighing in the balance. Okay, so we've moved here now, and I think it's a great idea to